Pause up, everybody. Welcome to Meowy Hour. I'm your host, Arden Moore. As you know, this is brought to you each and every week by the Cat Fancier Association, and we're very fortunate to have a terrific sponsor in Clover, the makers of both cat and dog supplements. And we have a very, very special guest in the house. Well, she's in her house in Montreal. I'm in my backyard office in Dallas. And my co-pilot, Kathy Black, all breed CFA judge. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
And hoist her up. The dog designated canine, Destiny. Our special guest today is an award-winning blogger. She is amazing at creating catios. And she knows my cat. Pet safety cat Casey. They have a history that we're going to get into, but welcome to the show. Yes, and her name is Nakchbendi. Gosh, Arden, where's your manners?
Thank you.
We're going to have a lot of fun. Check out chirpycats.com. This lady's a genius. This lady knows cats. This lady knows design. This lady knows cat behavior, and she's a cool person. How's that? Is that a good intro? So we're going to get more into it, but have all of you checked out the new Netflix series? It's called Cat People. Have you seen this, Yaz?
I actually haven't.
Okay,
I really
it's free if you have Netflix. Mm-hmm. And one of the episodes featured this amazing cat, and the cat's name is Maverick. And Maverick is a Bengal, but Maverick is okay on land. Yeah, that's cool. Maverick is a surfing cat. Maverick likes to go on skateboards. And it just proves that cat people, just when you think you know cats, they're going to throw you a curve, right, Yaz?
Absolutely. That is amazing.
So people think that cats hate water. But no. Tigers and jaguars, they like to swim. And there's a lot of domestic cat breeds that don't mind taking a dip in the lake or getting in the shower with you or just splashing around the water dish. So I actually had a cat growing up, a Siamese cat named Corky. And Corky would go, we had a backyard lake, and Corky and our dogs, silly names, Peppy and Crackers, would run down the hill with us to the lake. It was a small lake. And the cat, Corky, would dog paddle and go to our raft with the dogs. And then when we were done, we would put him in the water and he would dog paddle back to the shore. Look at that cat. What do you think of that? Yes.
Oh, I absolutely love it. The only time I've seen my cat do that is when he fell in the pool.
Oh, and that wasn't intentional?
No.
So what I wanted to do, there was an article written by our friend, Kim Campbell Thornton. She is legendary in the field of writing for dogs and cats. I think she has like 7 million books, and she writes a lot of blogs and articles. Anyway, Kim wrote this article. It was called Top 10 Cat Breeds Who Love Water. And we have an all cat breed judge right here with Kathy. We have another cat expert with Yasaar Nakchbendi. So let's talk about this. So, here's the rundown. And I wanted to kind of get your take. The Maine Coon. Who wants to take a dip on that one? What do you guys think? Yes or no? Cat swimming.
The Maine Coon is built for the northeastern weather, so they have a very water repellent coat. So when I had a Maine Coon, he would cry if it was raining because he just wanted to go out and stand in the rain. Mm-hmm. But I never saw him actually want to go into water, but he didn't mind standing out in the rain because he'd come in and he wouldn't even be wet. You just barely towel him off and he'd be dry. So he loved to be in the rain, but I don't know if he'd like to be in water necessarily. So
well, they say they like water, and their cousins, which isn't really the cousins, but they're fluffy and have water repellent coats. The Norwegian forest cat. Mm-hmm. They're named Wedgie. Is that right? Wedgie?
Well, Ouija.
It sounds like, oh, Ouija. I thought you just gave them a wedgie, like, when you're
No,
not.
Ouija. They nickname them Ouijas.
Oh, the
Oh, I
Ouijas.
pronounced
Now I've
that
learned
wrong.
something.
But they like to snag fish from shore. Did you know that?
That's what they say.
Yeah. Then here comes one that's not a surprise to me, the Abyssinian, because they actually were from the Indian Ocean coastal areas, and they really love to turn on that water faucet. If you don't turn it on, they will turn it on for you. Would you guys agree?
Yes,
They're like
definitely.
Einsteins.
They love dripping running water. Yeah.
And so they could make your bathroom their own personal water park. So be careful, because you're going to get socked with a high water bill.
Yeah, they're pretty smart too.
This one was a surprise. The Manx, the tailless cat from the Isle of Man. They like to put their paws a lot in water, in the water bowl. So I would say make sure that water bowl may be placed on some sort of bigger mat that has little edges, so that your kitchen doesn't turn into a pool.
Could be. I don't know about that.
Okay, Japanese bobtail. They like to splash in your koi pond, or if you have an aquarium, you better make sure there's a sturdy lid, because they're going to go.
They have little tiny feet too, so they can get them in small places.
Uh-oh. We talked about the Bengal Maverick, that cat. They look like a wild cat. They're really beautiful markings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Bengal.
Yeah. So she's just turned 19 years old last week.
Wow.
And yes, she's much like the ones we mentioned before. She won't swim, but she will play with water.
Okay.
Yes, she doesn't do it anymore.
19.
But 19.
Does she ever join you in the shower? And I know that's not being. I'm not being personal. But these cats don't take cameras into the shower.
She actually would, but not anymore. But in her youth, in her naughty days, she would. Yes, and she likes the rain.
Okay. Some of the other breeds that were mentioned as, hey, I love water, making a splash. American bobtail, the Savannah, of course, the Turkish Angora, and I had a Turkish fan mix, and my kitty's name was Zeki, Z-E-K-I, which is clever and courageous in Turkish.
Well, I was going to say you need to mention the Turkish van, because we call those the swimming cats. And not only do they like water, but they're also built like a swimmer. So we call those the swimming cats. So that would be my number one that I would bring up, would be the Turkish van.
Well, according to this research by Kim Campbell Thornton, legend has it that the Turkish van swam ashore from Noah's Ark after it came to rest on Mount Ararat.
Ararat, yeah.
Yeah. I can just see it. All right, everybody on the Ark. Race it to shore.
Well, the only problem with that theory is Mount Ararat was the highest object around. So when the ark hit it, there was no shore anywhere, if you're going to believe the Bible. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to get you a little muse. The Olympics are coming, or maybe not. Who knows, because of COVID. But that article by Kim was great. And if you get a chance, guys, check out the Cat People. It's like 5 or 6 episodes. It's on Netflix. And one of the episodes features our friend and previous guest, Sterling Trap King Davis, showing us how to do trapping and rapping. Yeah, it's a really good, well put together. Mm-hmm. So let's kind of move on. We want to announce who of you won the answers to our trivia question last week. I'm going to give you the question and the answer, and then Kathy's going to spill the beans on who won what. So last week's question was, there was a cat back during World War II who survived not 1, not 2, but 3 shipwrecks during World War II. What was the cat's name or nickname? And the cat was named Oskar, O-S-K-A-R, but went by the nickname appropriate, Unsinkable Sam. Have you heard about that one, Yas?
No.
So the funny thing is, this cat's on the Bismarck. It's sunk. The British save him. They put the cat on their boat, and like 3 or 4 months later, that boat sinks. The cat gets rescued, goes on an aircraft carrier, and then that gets shut down. I'm like, keep that cat away from my
Wow.
I'm glad he has many lives, but I think he's kind of not a good luck cat. What would you guys say?
No.
So who won what, Kathy?
Okay, so Carrie Jeffords was chosen for the In Clover packet. Let me bring that up real quick. So she was.
I happen to just have some right here.
The correct answers for that. So Carrie Jeffords is the winner of the In Clover Wellness Treats. And then the other prize we gave out was from Meowy Wanna and Doggy Wanna. And you asked them to name her degrees. And that we had several people get those right.
Cool.
And the Diana Knott, who is actually a fairly new exhibitor. I met her this last weekend in person. Diana is from Oklahoma, and she won the Meowy Wanna, Doggy Wanna, all the fantastic prizes, and she's promised to send us pictures with them wearing their sweatshirt and their t-shirts when she gets all her prizes. So congratulations to Carrie and Diana.
Well, we thank you, and we thank our sponsor, In Clover. Rebecca Rose is a biochemist. She's the one that created that company. She knows her stuff, and it's for healthy things for cats and dogs, supplements. Rusty was just munching on Smile during this break. So Rusty's going to help me ask you the trivia question for this week. And this week's question, you ready, Rusty? You got the notes? It's right here, Rusty. Can you see it? Yeah, I read cat and human. Okay. Nyla Cat holds the Guinness World Record for being the most followed feline on Instagram. Has more than 4 million followers. Now, here comes the question. You might know this answer, yeah, so play poker face. Don't give it away. Name Nyla's brother, who is a naughty but handsome bro and a cancer survivor. His real name is Mr. White, but I'm going to ask you for what is his, ready for it, preferred nickname. Okay, ready, Rusty? Rusty says, is his name A, coffee, B, soda, C, tea, or D, whiskey? What is the nickname for Nyla's naughty but handsome brother? Is it A, coffee, B, soda, C, tea, or D, whiskey? So go ahead and type in your answers now. Tell your friends, because Kathy picks the winner on Sunday. Kathy, tell us, there's a couple prizes up for grabs, right?
Yes. I was going to say he must be dark colored cat. That's all I could guess out of those names. Yes,
I know his name's Mr. White.
I don't mean anything. We're going to give away a coupon to Boss Cat, which is a frozen raw food. And we're also going to give away the wellness pack from In Clover, our sponsor. So we'll
go ahead and pull that up, that In Clover one, because people need to know we want to help you save a little money. So if you go
we'll have 2 winners next week.
Okay, great. So guys, go to inclover.com. They have a lot of great supplements for cats and dogs. But at checkout, go ahead and type that discount code Meowy in Clover 21 and save 10%. I like that. That's very nice of them. All right. You guys ready for our special guest? We don't have any sound effects, Yaz. It's just a low budget show.
I liked your cat voice, so.
Oh, thanks. On our show today is someone that I've met a few times, but the last time we met was pre-COVID, and it was at the 25th anniversary of the celebration of the Cat Writers Association. It was the annual conference and awards ceremony. This is a surprise. I was the MC for the awards. What do you think? Yes, that kind of makes sense, right? And with me on stage was my ginger boy, Pet Safety Cat Casey, wearing a very nice bow tie. And he came in a stroller, and he did his best to give a nose touch to every woman who won an award on the podium and a high paw to every dude that won. But yes, I think something happened. What's going on?
Yeah, he snubbed me, right? And then
Did he give you a butt shot? Well, I can't remember what he did.
He looked the other way. It was like, I'm getting tired of this.
Oh my gosh. Well,
but I think
apologizes.
I'm sure, no, the second time he made up, because the second time we actually did manage to get a nice photo shoot together.
Okay, good.
There's some pictures of us with him together, yes.
Well, folks, Yas Nakchbendi. I want you to learn how to spell. It's Y-A-S and it's Nakchbendi. I love your name. I love your name. And
Thank
are
you.
International on so many places. Tell us a little bit about where you were born, a few other countries, and you're in Montreal right now, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Take it away.
So
don't start like when you're in diapers, but just,
Yes. So I've lived in quite a few continents. I come from South Africa. I was born in South Africa. I had an opportunity to stay in Ireland for 5 years. I stayed in Switzerland for 2 years. And then in 2005, I returned to South Africa with my 2 cats.
Nice.
And yes, and with my 2 show cats, because I used to do cat shows in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2006, I left and I went back to my home country, South Africa. And 4 years later, I met my Canadian husband. And then I moved to Canada with my 2 cats.
Wow. I noticed the choice of words you used. You didn't say, I've lived in a number of countries. I've lived in a number of continents.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I did say that. Oh,
yeah. And folks, I want you to know that she is the creator of Chirpy Cats. And on our show today, she's going to give us some ideas on how to really spruce up like catios, some gardening tips. She's a very, very good writer. She's been an award-winning writer with the Cat Writers Association. She's a great gal. I'm stalling because Casey's trying to come down here to catch me because I want him to say hi to you. But this woman speaks Afrikaans, French, and obviously English. That's amazing. So we're going to have a little fun. Yas, can you do me a favor? Say a cat phrase, and we're all going to see if people have good ears and know what you're saying. Say it first in Afrikaans.
Let's see. My kat hou baie om te speel.
Say it again.
My kat hou baie om te speel.
All right, Casey says hi to you. Hi, yes.
Hey, Casey.
Love you, baby. Call me. All right, so that's it in Afrikaans, right?
Afrikaans, yes.
All right, now say it in French.
Les chats aiment beaucoup de joues.
Ooh, say it again.
Les chats aiment beaucoup de joues.
Okay, guys, any guesses what she said? How many speak Afrikaans or French?
Les chats is cat. That's all I know in French. Okay.
So let's let the kitty out of the bag. Please tell us what it is in English.
Cats just love to play a lot.
There you go. There you go. Nice. Nice. So you said you also speak a touch of German too.
Yes. Yeah, but that was my stint in Switzerland, in Zurich. But I forgot a lot of it. Don't ask me to say anything.
I would love to see your passport. I bet every page is full.
It is.
What do you think about being able to experience different countries and different cultures? And how are cats these days in these different countries and cultures? Are they upping the game in other places too? Because they're getting quite popular here.
It's amazing how actually it's funny because I actually, when I go back home to South Africa, I observe, obviously they in different places they have indoor cats versus outdoor cats. There's always that debate.
Yes.
And some people think it's crazy that we have indoor cats. And I wrote a little fun thing about, you know, the pampered pets in Cape Town. When I returned, because I had my vacation at the time 2 years ago in Cape Town, but every household I went to, whether it was my sister's cats, whether it was my cousin's cats, they each had a story to tell, and I found it fascinating. Just relaying our cat culture in Cape Town or South Africa versus here, and the outdoor life versus the indoor life, and also in Ireland as well. Lots of people, it's the whole idea of keeping cats indoors is catching on with many people. Even Catios is catching on, the idea of, yes.
Okay.
But not as much as in North America still. It's still sort of very new. But pre-Instagram age and I would say in 2003, when I was living in Ireland, I used to leash train my 2 cats. And
oh, nice.
Yes, and even though the culture there was keeping cats outdoors, I growing up always knew I wanted to keep my cats safe.
Yes.
So I was always a little bit ambivalent of letting my cats be outdoors because of safety factors and all of that. And so I leash trained them, and so I
it was been a problem. Yeah.
And at the time it was very novel. It was a very novel idea to go to a park and have my cats on a leash and people stare, whereas now it's just a given. You have huge Instagram accounts. You had your Emily from Adventure Cats on.
Oh yeah, Kitty Cat Go.
Yes, Kitty Cat Go, and it's huge these days, and it's fantastic to have all that, diversity and cats, out and about just like dogs, doing their thing.
Right. Well, one thing that I love that you are taking a lead on is the idea of how to design a catio, which used to be just humbly called a patio. And in my house, because I have cats and dogs, we call it a petio. We just got it designed. And Kathy, you got to see my petio. What'd you think?
Oh, it was great. Yeah. I mean, it was so good for the cats, good for the dogs, good for the people.
That's right.
Wonderful.
So I call you somebody that specializes, ready for this initial? You specialize in DIYFYC. You ready for that?
What is that?
Do it yourself for your cat.
Oh, I
just
love
created that so you can take it. I just created that acronym. DIYFYC. Do it yourself for your cat. This is an amazing site, everybody. It's called chirpycats.com, and you really are inspiring people, and you're providing enrichment for our cats, because many here are indoor. It's safer. But can you tell us this article right here, 9 awesome ways to bring your catio to life with these catio accessories, I consider to be a game changer. And I even took notes. Yes. So
fantastic.
Let's just start broadly.
Yes.
Why, you don't have to break the bank, but why is it so important to have a safe outdoor enclosure, catio, whatever you want to call it, for kitties that spend 24/7 inside?
Absolutely. For, that is so close to my heart, just for enrichment. As I told you, I come from a country where we traditionally had outdoor cats growing up, and the trend to keep indoor cats is slowly catching on. Right. And that ambivalence to always, I wanted to merge the indoor with the outdoor with the indoor and vice versa. And how to do that? Before the word catio caught on, even before I knew this, I was living in Ireland. I thought, and at the time, there are companies there that do specialize in, it's called Protect a Pet and so on. You can fence in your garden, and that's happening a lot, which is fantastic because people realize it's safer.
Mhm.
And I didn't, and at the time the word was just called cat enclosure. So I thought that will be amazing, but I don't want a cat enclosure that looks like a cage.
Or a prison, yeah.
Yes. So that was just totally not the way to go. And then my husband surprised me when, he's a dog guy. He's always been a dog guy all his life, loves animals. He always says he's a cat guy now because of my cat Earl Grey, my late cat Earl Grey. But then one day he, in 2013, he just announced, I'm going to build a catio. And I was like, okay, fantastic.
This is Kevin, right? Kevin
Yes,
is proof that real men love cats, right? Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so Kevin went, he was very serious about this. And when he says something, he sticks to it. He spent the whole of that fall in October in 2013 building this catio, and it's a 10 by 12. And at the time, that was the basic frame, just the basic structure.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I know you didn't want, this to look like a cage, and I know, this is how I'm building it. Right now, you do the rest of the cadification. You do the plants, and you do that's your baby, because he built the shelves and he built the
nice,
the cadification, as it were, obviously we had to make a few modifications along the way. Why? Because if our cat, one of the ramps was too steep, and I said to him, it's a little bit too steep. He goes, no, it's not too steep. They're cats, they can climb anything. Well, and then they didn't want to, they refused to climb. And I said, okay, that needs to be repositioned.
Well, that's all what a good scientist does too. It's trial and error.
Trial and error.
Yeah. Now you are called the lady cat, not the cat lady. Is that correct?
Because it comes from the fact that I call my husband Kevin. He's the man cat because he says, we're not the owners of a cat. He's just the bigger cat, so he's the man cat in the house. So I'm the lady cat.
Okay,
right? When we talk to our kitties, the man is go to the man cat there. He's gonna feed you or whatever.
I like that. Before we get right into the catio aspect, though, I hope you can just share a little special salute to your late great cat Earl Grey, because this is brought to you by the Cat Fancier Association. So there's a little connection. Tell us.
Yes. So as I mentioned, my cat Earl Grey, my late cat, I have his calendar.
So she likes tea.
There you go.
Oh, what a beauty.
That's Earl Grey. This is the 2020 calendar, and I dedicated the whole calendar to my lovely boy Earl Grey. And like I say, Kevin always says he loves cats because of Earl Grey. And when he's a show cat, he's actually a blue Asian ticked tabby. And he earned his Tara Grand Premier title in Ireland, which is one of let me just show you his little rosette. He also won this is the Supreme show in Ireland from the Cat Fanciers Association of Ireland. And it's his little, so he has plenty of these.
I didn't know that we were in Ireland.
Well, there you go. See, Cat Fancier Association, they get around.
They do.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. But you have Mr. Jack. Is he available? The king of the castle? Can we see Mr. Jack? Because this is a cat show.
Yes. Actually, Baggy. I have Baggy, Mr. Curlytail. Baggy.
Oh, okay.
Jackie.
Yeah, go ahead. Grab him. I've been doing that with my cats. What do you think, Kathy? Wasn't that pretty impressive?
Yes. And I love this cat she has now because he's a cool looking cat. Look, this cat has a huge head.
Look at this very tiny cat she's going to fill the screen with. Tell us about Mr. Jack. Hi, dude. How's it going? I feel like I got to do this. Hey, dude.
He's a big teddy bear.
Face. Tell us about Mr. Jack.
He is such a big teddy bear. He is, as I say, I call him 50 Shades of Grey. And he's the king of the chirpy cats. We also call him the social facilitator because he goes around. grooming everyone.
Aw,
All the
he's
other
like a
cats.
Mr. Mom.
He is. And he puts everyone in their place. And if there's any sort of, if he sees any sort of, altercation between the other two cats, he'll dash to the scene of the crime, of the potential crime, to stop the perpetrator in his tracks. And normally the perpetrator is Baggy with the mystic. I think his tail doesn't uncurl. It's a curled tail. I wish I could actually just but
well, maybe if Kevin comes before the end of the show, have him bring in him to the screen if you would. But
yeah.
How much does 50 Shades of Grey, aka Mr. Jack, weigh?
He's 15 pounds, but no, he's not the biggest. Mr. Charlie here is the biggest. Yeah, Mr. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So,
who is this?
So Charlie is huge. Charlie was 18 pounds, and not because he's just a big, tall cat. He's like long. It's amazing.
Those legs are long.
Yeah,
he's
I
a very
try to
long
tell people
cat.
I'm just big boned. That's what I say.
Well, that's what he says too.
Wow, he's 18 pounds?
Yes.
Wow. But you also go ahead.
No, he lost weight. Like he's not even like sort of, he was chubby, but he lost the weight. He was 21 and he loves his food a lot, but he's actually in shape right now. And he's still a big cat. He's long, he's huge.
You also have a polydactyl. Tell us about Jimmy Fancy Feet.
Yes, Jimmy Fancy Feet is, he's kind of the star of, he and Sly Pie are kind of the stars of the Instagram.
My apologies, Sly. I didn't mean to slip on Sly.
Okay. Very Sly. But you know what, those two, it's funny you mentioned they are the stars of the Chirpy Cats, because on our Instagram, they're all over. And it's not because I play favorites. It's because they just love the catio. They're all over. They just, they're always
there. This is my best side. No, this is my best side.
Yeah. And it's so easy to film them. So, you go with what's easiest, and Mr. Jack as well. But the others is like always, they'll flit it out. They wouldn't stay in, cats.
Well, you described when I was doing some research, you said that Jimmy Fancy Feet is a polydactyl gingerbread boy who loves head massages, shaking paws, and will do anything for hugs. Oh, he's so sweet.
Yes. He next to Sarabi, he's the senior cat around here. Mm-hmm. He's now 10 years old.
Okay.
We got him at 5 years old, and the lady at the shelter said he is going to. I said, "Can I see him?"
Yeah.
And this is again my husband who went to adopt more. I'm telling you, he's the cat. He adopted all the 8 cats. I came with my 2 cats, and he adopted the other 8. Right.
Well,
so at the shelter,
you got a good man. You got a good man cat. Lady cat, you got a good man cat.
I do have a good man cat. Yeah. And so they took him out of the cage, and they said to me, "He's going to give you a huge hug." And lo and behold, they took him out, and his big polydactyl paws just wrapped my neck, and he just gave me a big hug. And it was amazing. It was just love at first sight.
So let's get some of these catio tips, if you don't mind. I do want people, guys, go to the chirpycats.com site. She's on Facebook, Instagram. This lady is changing the world. And I did humbly forget to mention, you won in 2018, the Women in the Pet Industry Network Rising Star Award. You have won a number of awards from the Cat Writers Association, and including the Human Enrichment Award. And trust me, guys, with COVID and all of us having to be at home, people were looking at home projects, and I think that's going to continue going forward. But one of the things that you say is a must in your article about catios is the watering hole. Can you expand on that?
Oh, yes. Okay, so the watering hole is where all the watering hole gossip happens, okay? After a long day out hunting in the Serengeti, every kitty, needs to hydrate. Okay, and I have 2 watering hole stations. So the watering hole is really a fountain, a cat fountain, but it can be any kind of fountain, preferably outdoors, meant for outdoors. I think it's just one of for my tips, for catio tips, it's just an essential element, because not only did we want to create the catio for the cats, I think it's a catio, if you have the space, for the humans too, because it's just bonds
better together.
It's just
right?
Exactly. It's
so
a great
I would
bonding.
Have a water cooler, which would be a fridge with beer in it.
You can bring it.
Yeah,
bring it all.
But you talked about things like crystal gemstones, like amethyst, and how a water feature in a catio could maybe bring a little tranquility to the 2 and the 4-leggers.
Yes, because amethyst, I like, it's, besides being pretty, it's, beautiful, it's calming. It's known to, if you do use crystals for whatever reason, but or if you know about crystals, it has a calming, and it supposedly brings about peace and harmony. So who doesn't want peace and harmony for their multi-cat household?
Another thing is, you had, and we've talked about this on our show, about catnip and silvervine and honeysuckle and all that, but you offered an idea for people on how to safely get fresh catnip in a catio and not turn that into a zone where the cats are, oh yeah, baby, that was right, that's great. So what's some tips on how to safely put catnip, the plant, so that the paws can't get it?
Absolutely. So my secret is plant your catnip in suspended hanging baskets.
Good.
Right? So if you've seen pictures of my catio, there's a super highway right on top. And it's in a T-junction. And in between this T-junction, I have these suspended...
Don't you, Kathy? I gotta go see your catio. Let's go to Montreal. Come on, after the show.
I'd love to have you over for a cup of tea.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yes, and what the cats do is they'll stroll up on the super highway, and then oh, there's catnip. Oh,
yeah.
And they can take little pieces and they can sniff leaves, and they, without jumping, because they're not going to jump into it's suspended. It's, cats, they won't jump into anything that's a little bit unstable.
Right.
So they know that it's moving, but they can't get to it, but they can, and it sprawls out. So it's within reach, but they cannot destroy your catnip.
I like it. A couple other things I wanted to ask, because it was a great article, really a lot of depth to it. You talked about garden statues. There's a Mr. Literary Cat garden statue in your catio, and it's been around a while.
Yes. So that was, so in 2013, when my husband said, right, you're going to do all the catification and so on. That's
that.
Him.
There it is, Kathy, thank you.
That's Mr. Literary Cat.
Which cat is that posing with the cat?
That is Ollie. He's also the poser. Ollie loves to pose. Yes.
So what is it about statues and cats, do you think, people don't think about that, but they like to lounge on different surfaces.
Absolutely. And the thing is, why I like these little sort of statues is not only it creates a nice ambience for the people, a little nook for, where you have your cup of tea in the morning. But for cats also, it's like, this is a nice little place to just rest. And it looks so funny because it's almost like Mr. Literary Cat is reading them bedtime stories of faraway lands of when cats rule the world.
Yes, they think they still do, though,
And they will take a nap, and sometimes Ollie will be resting his head on the little book of the Mr. Literary Cat. So different quirky little statues can add some quirkiness to your space. It creates a little, yeah.
What about lighting? Because in my patio, it was so nice. We were able to put in dimmer lights. So they're insetted in the ceiling.
Yes.
So we can go real bright or ambiance. And then we did find It's solar powered. It looks like little torches. I don't know if you got to see that, Kathy, if it was dark enough at our house when you were at my house earlier, but it looks like you have this jungle vibe, and the cats kind of like it, but it's through oh, there it is, through the solar power. This is a photo that Kathy Black and Teresa Kiger came to visit me because there was a CFA cat show in Mesquite, Texas. I live in Dallas. And that little brown cutie pie, that is her dog, Destiny, all 6 pounds. My 9-pound little Emma, and my pet safety dog, Kona. And this is the test. What do you think? Yes, I think they all got along.
I think they did.
And and I love that Destiny went in my art stand, met Casey and Rusty and my senior cat, Mikey. And
she was very happy to meet the cats. It took her a while to be happy to meet the dogs.
The cats. I kind of feel like I need to be with the cats.
She thinks my she's a cat as it is.
Hey, Destiny, it's your Aunt Arden treat lady. How's it going?
Yeah, she thinks she's a cat.
So let's talk about lighting, because that does set the mood and the emotional state for all sentient beings, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So I'm in love with solar lights, and the ones that I think you mentioned, your little flickering lights. It's the flameless lights, but it flickers and it looks like a torch.
Yes.
So I have a few of those.
Okay.
And it gives this very sort of jungle feel.
Yeah.
Because I have them on either side of the catnip tunnel. That's the other one that I have to mention. It's a catnip tunnel. It's a tunnel where they can walk through this tunnel, and it's covered with catnip on either side. So they can't also destroy it, but the catnip kind of, cascades over it.
Is this the tunnel?
Well, that's the Skywalk. That is actually called Grey Walk. It's named after Earl Grey. But the one below, that, similar to that, is the Catnip Tunnel. So that's where they have the
Look
evening.
At this, guys. This is you and Kevin rock. I want to come back as a cat and live with you. Is that all right? I don't want to die, but if I had to, that would be a great way to. Oh, look at this.
Yes, so the kitty condos are also quite popular, a home away from home, a little getaway for each cat.
What would be a couple parting tips that you could give folks? Because you can do it as your budget allows, but what is happening to the mental state of the cat when you can offer something like this and you don't have to break the budget?
Yes, so definitely for a multi-cat household, I just highly recommend it. George was our he still is the timid cat, but at least he has space to timeshare. So, they play musical chairs throughout the day, just time sharing their spaces. So I have 3 condos outside as well, and they'll timeshare that. But if you don't have space on a budget, there are so many things that even in a small space, as long as you go vertical, because cats don't see, like I say, don't see in square footage. They don't see it like that. They don't.
Like Rusty's above me right now on the corner.
And he thinks he owns his domain, right?
Oh yeah, he's giving me the look like Rusty treats. Yeah,
exactly. So he doesn't need a lot of space, and so people always think, I need a huge space.
More vertical than others. So
exactly,
you can really, and you want to make sure that it's easily vertical, not just straight up and down, because as cats get older, they can't go straight up and down. A lot of cat trees are straight up and down, and they can't go from one shelf to another. So you need to make it. Needs to be some horizontal, but they do like to get up higher.
Absolutely. That's what happened to us. We had to modify it because we made it one of them too steep. So we had to modify it. But definitely your vertical space, even you can, if you're not going to do it yourself, you even get those little DIY kits where you can, it's called a box catio, a window box catio. Yes, and even for if you're renting and you have a balcony, you can enclose it with netting You know,
Nice.
there
Well,
are options.
we have a little TV in there. We have 2 comfortable chairs, fan, but we have a cat tree. We have a nice comfy doggy bed, and it's screened in. It's nice because no rain can come in. And so we could sit out there when it's raining outside, and
Nice.
the cats and the dogs and Julie and I are like digging it. We feel like we're camping. We're glamping, maybe. That would be the better expression. People want to know more about you, Yaz. And so can you talk about a little bit about the Chirpy Cats newsletter? Because I really would love folks to sign up.
Oh, nice. So
Wasn't that smooth? Yeah.
oh, that was yes. So I'm always giving tips about DIY, my latest DIY tips, and whether it's indoor or outdoor. You know, I have lots of DIY blog posts about creating your own cat grass bed to grow cat grass, because I'm passionate about cat. I love cat grass. If I could eat, it sounds like I want to eat it too. No.
Come on, hurry up.
but I do have it in my smoothies, the wheatgrass. So I'm always offering tips on whether it's indoor DIY projects for your cat or outdoors for your catio. And like I say, I'm not the expert on building catios, but I love to offer catio and DIY inspiration for cat enrichment.
And that is exactly why we wanted to have you on our show, because you can make it me wow instead of oh. So everybody, we're speaking with Yaz Nakchbendi. I want you guys to go to chirpycats.com after the show. Please sign up for her newsletter. She's got brilliant ideas. You just saw just a few of her really awesome, fine felines. It's always great to hang out with you, Yaz, and I'm so glad that Casey got to see you tonight.
The pleasure is mine.
He's napping right now. We want you to stay on because, as you all know, our loyal viewers, we've been on the air a year plus now. Hey guys, if you have somebody like a Yaz that you want us to know about, go ahead and give us some ideas for some speakers that you would like to see on the show. And at this time, Kathy, she is an all-breed judge for the CFA and a pretty cool person. She's going to get into a little presentation on the Siamese. As you know, I'm going to get ready to make our cocktail, so I'm going to just flip off the screen for a second. But yeah, stay on and take it away, Kathy.
Okay, and same thing. If you have a topic or a breed that you want us to cover during our feature breed, reach out to me. You know, we've done some interesting comparisons between Maine Coons and Norwegian Forest Cats, and we've talked about white cats with blue eyes and deafness. We've talked about a lot of different things. So if you have a topic you'd like for me to cover, please let me know. I always like to do a little bit of an educational seminar when I talk about the Siamese, because the Siamese has been around originally from Thailand, or it was known then as Siam. And so they were imported from like the 1800s. And these cats are, obviously they have the gene that is very distinctive. That's why we recognize the Siamese so easily. They're going to have blue eyes, of course. And in CFA, we recognize them in 4 colors: seal, blue, chocolate, and lilac. There's lots of different breeds of cats that have the Siamese gene. You can have the Burmans. Here's a Devon Rex. Here's a Himalayan Persian. Here's a Cornish Rex. So these are obviously not Siamese, right? But they do have the Siamese gene. I think this is a ragdoll here. So the Siamese gene is a very potent gene. It shows up in a lot of different places. Just because they have the Siamese gene, though, they are not Siamese. And so a Siamese is this cat that is long and elegant. Some people call them living art. You know, you have these beautiful, long, refined legs, this straight, long profile to the head with a nice chin that's in line with that wedge, They have a wedge-shaped head where the ears are also in line with the wedge, as you can see here. They have a oriental slant to their eyes, and of course the eyes are always blue. This is a temperature-sensitive gene, so it's going to be most concentrated in the areas of the body that are coolest. So the face and the ears, the end of the legs, and the tail are the cooler parts of the body. That's where the color is going to be the most intense. The front legs are closer to the heart, so they stay a little warmer than the back legs. So you typically will not have the color going all the way up the front legs because that's getting too close to the heart, which is keeping that part of the legs warmer. So these are our seal point. Here are the blue point, which is the dilute of the seal. We have the chocolate point, and then the dilute of the chocolate is the lilac point. And these are a little more delicately colored, and typically with the lighter colors, it takes a little more time for that color to fully develop. This is a young cat. It doesn't fully have the mask on its face or the color on its legs yet. So the pointed pattern is a form of partial albinism resulting from a mutation of an enzyme that produces melanin. So melanin is, the mutation is called triocyanase enzyme, which is heat sensitive. So that's the reason why the color ends up in the cooler parts of the bodies. The kittens are typically born solid white or maybe a little more creamy colored, and then they develop their point color, their nose leather changes, their paw pads change, everything changes as that color starts to come in. They generally will darken with age because as they get older, you know how old people are always cold? Their bodies get a little cooler. They're not as good on the circulation, so that can cause the body to color up a little bit. And then there's lots of different variations of the Siamese with the Javanese and the Balinese and the color point short hairs. But I just wanted to mostly just talk about the Siamese today. The more rounded heads, so people will call them apple-headed Siamese. Since the 50s and 60s, they really have gotten to the more extreme look with our Siamese, with the narrow wedge heads and the longer tubular bodies, the long thin tail. That's the look we're going for more with our Siamese breed today. And there's lots of different variations, like I said, with the Oriental short hair, which it was a parent breed for, and the Tonkinese, which it was also a parent breed for. But the Siamese has been around for a very long time. It's the most recognized breed of cat. And like I said, when they're babies, they're born white, and then their coloration starts developing as they get a little older, and you can see what their color is going to be. So hopefully you enjoyed that presentation on the Siamese. And now it's time for Arden to play bartender. Are we going to talk about CCW first?
CCW, and who is this? Yes?
This is Baggy. This is Baggy with the curly tail. So see his tail.
The curly tail. Come on, let's show it up. Hey, Baggy.
The tail does not go down at all.
What does that mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you would think that there's some kind of a defect, but we took him to the vet when we adopted both him and his brother.
Yeah.
We call them the Utes, from my cousin Vinny, the Utes, because they always cause trouble. But anyway, there's nothing wrong with his curly tail. It's just him. It's his confidence tail, because the only time it goes down is when he's afraid, when he's at the vet. Can you believe it?
Look at it curl around her arm.
Yeah, it curls. It's always curly.
It's like a monkey tail.
He's a tail charmer. He's a tail charmer.
He is.
My gosh. Thank you so much for bringing him to the camera. I got to tell you, you got some beautiful cats, Yas. Don't you think,
Thank
Kathy?
you.
Yeah.
And they're like 3 times the size of your dog, Destiny.
Oh, at least.
Hey, guys, we just got a few minutes left, so we're going to kind of scoot through a little bit. Let's talk about the CCW, Kathy.
Okay, so CCW stands for Companion Cat World, and it is CFA's way to recognize the cats like Yas has today.
Yeah. Yes, has a lot of them. Good ones.
Are random bred cats, And you can register them with the Cat Fancy Association by going to cfa.org/CCW, because all cats are fancy. You just click on the Join Now button. When you do and you upload a picture, your cat not only goes on our gallery online, but you also get a card with your cat's picture on it, your cat's name, and your information. And it's a one-time fee of $13 per cat. And you can also order extra stuff if you want luggage tags or rings for your keychain.
Yeah, if you travel to many continents. Yes.
Yes. So check it out at cfa.org/CCW.
Awesome. Hey guys, as you know, I have two other identities besides being the host of Meowy Hour and in the cat writing and world. And that is I'm a master instructor in pet first aid. And I do have a real cat and a real dog in my classes, and you don't have to be in person to take them. But if you can flip it on the screen there, Kathy, we have our openings for our next cat first aid class. It's going to be Thursday, August 26th. It's in the evening. And with us are Rusty, the performer, and pet safety cat, Casey. Yaz, because of Zoom, one of my students came from Cape Hope.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but yeah. And I've had people from Egypt and Germany.
That's fantastic.
We really make it fun, but I hope you guys check it out at Pet First Aid for You. It's something I'm very passionate about, teaching you practical ways to keep your cat, your dog safe, and what to do when uh-oh happens and you need to get the pet to the vet. So Kathy took my class. Kathy, you're still my friend. That's something, right?
Oh, yes, it was fabulous.
Maybe we'll get you in a class, yes. I promise.
I want to. Actually, when you announced it, I wanted to. I missed it. So definitely, if you, I want to do it.
We got one coming up in next month, and go to Pet First Aid for You, and you will see that. And the other identity I have, of course, you guys know this. I am a licensed bartender. So this week, we're going to salute all cats with this kitty cocktail I created. It is called the Marmalade Kitty Classic. Let's do a shout out to All-Breed Cat Judge and the editor of Cat Talk, Teresa Kiger. She's the genius in creating this graphic for us. And as I say, this is an easy cocktail that purrs with orange and brandy flavors. So to make this, you need to have a cocktail shaker. I already got the ice in it. And you want to do 1.5 ounces of brandy. For this one, that's a 6 count, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to add 2 dashes of orange bitters. Guys, each drop is potent, so don't go like, oh, it just caught my eye. Go like that. You just little goes far. So I'm going to do 1 drop. I'm going to do 2 drops. Then I'm going to put
that stuff is strong.
2 ounces of orange juice. Now this little guy represents 1 ounce. So I'm going to do 1. I can count up to 3, yeah. So that's how I can do it.
No, good thing you're only doing 2. Okay.
Yeah, that would push it. And then we want to add, when you get it all together, you want to shake it up. We're not done yet, though. Then you take a rock glass with a nice big boy ice cube, because it looks like it's cool. And you strain it into this cocktail glass. But we're not done. You're going to now add 2 ounces of club soda. Notice I didn't shake the club soda in the strainer. We all know carbonation is not your friend.
You don't want to be all exciting, do you?
No. So you add the club soda. You do a nice little mix it up slowly. And then make it look pretty, because it's like a catio, drink for the catio. With a little wedge of orange. What do you guys think of the look of this?
Gorgeous.
Oh, perfect for the catio.
There you go. Now, I know you're drinking some tea, yes. I'm not sure what you got, Kathy, but you guys know the drill. At this time, let us all raise a glass. It is time to toast all cats. purebred, and those kitties with the mysterious DNA, like mine, like my ginger boys, Casey and Rusty. They make us better humans. Cheers, kitties.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. All right, Autumn, we only have less than a minute.
I know, I got it.
Okay.
This drink is perfect for a nice summer day in a catio. So please check out chirpycats.com. At this time, I want to give a shout out to the Cat Fancier Association for presenting the Meowy Hour each and every Wednesday. I would also like to thank our sponsor, In Clover, the makers of cat and dog supplements. Of course, Yas Nakchbendi of Chirpy Cats and her very, very cool cats. Thank you for being our guest today. We are going to have next week Kristen Cohen. She is the owner and founder of a cat cafe, and it's called the Pernon, like Mount Vernon, Pernon Cat Cafe and Wine Bar.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to learn about the world of cat cafes next week.
Wonderful.
So we've had a great time, guys. I hope you did too.
I certainly had a great time.
Thank you.
This was fantastic. Thank you.
Same cat time, same cat channel. We're going to see you on Meowy Hour. Thank you all for being part of this. Cheers.
Thank you.